A very good evening to everyone. It's indeed an opportune time for me to welcome you all from Center for Educational Social Studies, Bangalore. In collaboration with Shisharipuram College, we're organizing this one-day research symposium on unleashing thoughts and nurturing ideas. We have two sessions which has been lined up. Today's session, that's pre-symposium workshop on 22nd and 23rd of this month. The first session today is going to be on data and research, issues with access, availability, and quality. And the resource person for today's session is Dr. M. Chandra Shekar, sir. Sir is an associate professor and program head of PGDM, Banking and Financial Services, IP Hyderabad. We welcome you, sir. At the outset, I also welcome all the participants for this. At the outset, I would like to first introduce the resource person of today's session, Dr. M. Chandra Shekar, sir. Sir is currently working as an associate professor of accounting and finance at IP Hyderabad. He's also a program head for PGDM Banking and Financial Services. He teaches accounting and finance courses for PGDM students. He's also conducted and delivered a lot of management development program sessions on valuation, financial modeling, commercial accounting, and financial management to senior management professionals. His articles on emerging topics such as fintech, blockchain technology, and startup appear in professional journals such as the Journal of Management Accountants, Management of Labor Studies, and few in ABTC index journals. Further, his work has appeared in reputed business magazines such as Forbes India and People Matters. He writes regular columns in nationwide news dailies such as the Hindu Business Line, the Financial Express, DNA, China Daily, E-Nadu, Sakshi, and Dainik Bhaskar. He also participated in a live debate on the topic CBDC's Central Bank Digital Currencies, an initiative of RBI in the ETV Prime program, and on sustainable startups in ETV. His areas of expertise in teaching and training includes accounting for managers, corporate finance, entrepreneur finance, and financial modeling. His research interests includes empirical research in corporate finance, ESG, and sustainability and startup in India. We are very fortunate to have you, Mr. today, sir. We welcome you, sir, on behalf of CES and all the participants. At the outset, I will also would like to welcome Dr. Murlidhar, sir. Murlidhar, sir, has been a regular mentor for all of us. Sir, on behalf of CES, we welcome you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I request all the participants.
Lecture, which is very, very important. And we are talking about new ideas, new inventions, and the importance of data in that regard. Thank you, Murlidhar, sir, for giving me this opportunity.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. Thank you very much. Welcome,
yeah,
sir.
thank you, sir. So let me start the session. Can you able to see the screen, the slides?
Yeah.
Is my screen visible? The data from the startup's point of view and the startup ecosystem point of view also, they are capturing the data, and we'll be talking about which are those resources which are available to extract the data. But essentially, this picture is visible on the screen, and the background of this picture is all about the data. And whether it is primary as a secondary, that's a different question, but there is a data, and because of that, I can say the jump in number of unicorns, or the jump in number of startups, or the jump in total funding. Of course, it is a bit old, but today, if you see, there are more than 250 plus unicorn startups, and more than 250 fintech startups are existing in the markets today. Fintech was 5 years back, it was altogether a new term in Indian markets, but today there are 250 players, and they call it as, they're all corporates in the domain of startups, and especially in the domain of fintech startups. So you can also pay attention on the source, because that source is contributing this particular slide. So I can say, you can able to get some kind of a data from NASCAM, which is again an industry body, which is again an industry association. And another reason is also what you can also see how these companies are raising finances, in what way they are raising finances, what is the amount they are raising finances, at what stage they are raising finances. Again, you don't get this kind of a data at one place. I was referring for my own article into different resources. I was checking with business publications. I was also checking with magazines like Forbes and Fortune, and I was also checking with few startup agencies like TIE and etc. And I was gathering the data. Then I prepared some kind of a data and developed an article which got published in one of the journals. So sometimes you don't find the related data at one place, and you need to keep searching about that particular data from different resources. Of course, those must be authenticated resources. Then only the publisher will consider that particular data set for publication. So these bar diagrams are the kind of charts what you see. Again, the background of this particular slide is again the data. And in this case, we're talking about the financial data, how companies are raising finances and etc. So if you have data, you can do this kind of wonderful presentation in terms of graphs, in terms of charts, and also what in terms of SWOT analysis, of the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats. And today, this company is in deep trouble. That can be a question to do the research. Is this only one edutech company who is in trouble, or all the edutech companies are finding a challenge today? Because education is again back to offline, and what is exactly happening with online edutech players? Who are the takers? How is their performance? And many edutech startups also came in the last 10 years, and you can able to do some kind of study in that particular domain, whether edutech is creating money for investors or is helping students to learn. So such kind of questions also you can think about it. Of course, as I said, this company is in deep trouble. We don't know what is going to happen. Again, you pay attention to the source. Left-hand side corner, you can see there is a source which is given. So that is the source where you can able to get startups related data free of cost. You need not pay to extract the data relating to Indian startups. Of course, there are few paid startup databases are also available, but I was using this particular website and I was trying to extract the data, and mostly the data is coming in the form of numbers, and then you convert that numbers into what the charts and graphs and etc. So since data is the new oil, that's what everyone talks about it, and very often we come across some situations that no one is caring about us, but today it's not that case. The market is caring about us. Market is interested to know about you. The way you live and the way you spend and the way you handle your health and your mental condition. Why? Because people are connected with gadgets, and that particular gadget is the source. It has become a source for companies to extract the data. And the data comes from different resources, from different domains. It can be financial data, or it can be statistical data, or it can be the natural data, or maybe the mobility companies, where they keep sending you the offers, where they keep sending you some kind of discounts. Why? Because they promote, and they are sending you the promotion. Why? Because they are trying to understand you. So that's the reason we should never think that no one is caring, but market is caring about us, and market is spending money to know about us, and that is again in a form of research. So companies are spending huge amount of money in knowing the customer, reaching the customer, and generate value for them. At the same time, give best and on-time services to the customers. So the modern day data sets, if you see, every company is interested to know about the number of customers, number of suppliers, number of employees. So if you take this to the next level, when you can say number of customers, I mean, you're talking essentially about marketing related concepts. Number of suppliers, you're talking about operations related concepts, and employees, you talk about HR related concepts. Number of experiments, the scientific world, it exists because of they carry experiments. They do a lot of research in labs, and that lab research is again available in the public domain in the form of research papers, but not exactly as a lab result. Number of trials, again, it is from the sciences background, and the number of subscribers, number of premium users. All these things have become matter today. It was not the case 5 years back. It was not the case 10 years back. So research is also getting transformed because of new data sets are coming in, and time is also another factor. Speed is also another factor, and the size of the data is also growing. So finally, all these data sets will have an effect on the cost, at the same time on the volume, at the same time on the profits. Overall, if you see, it will have an effect on the valuation. So this I already spoke about. So this is again another example I was talking about. So we can able to do, again, the resource is same. Just visit that particular resource. You can able to do some kind of research on startup ecosystem. So here is the next level of discussion what I'm going to carry. First thing, to start with, let's say I wish to know research which relates to product, or which relates to service, or I can say the service quality, or I can say the product quality. So very often you come across there are some agencies relating to product and services. One thing is what ISO is one standards setting organization. So if you visit ISO, you can able to get some kind of standards, some kind of rules or benchmarks for assessing the quality of the product. Six Sigma is also another thing which talks about the quality of the product and quality of the service. And today, about quality, people are looking at reviews. People are also talking about ratings. So there are few companies, they are continuously doing research in knowing about reviews and ratings. Just to know about reviews and ratings, few startups also created. There are few startups now. Their duty is only to capture the review and ratings which are given by the users about XYZ product, about XYZ service, and they are gathering the data. And one fine day, they give it to their suppliers, they give it to their customers, and they are creating value out of it. Feedback is another mechanism. Few companies, third-party companies, if not the major companies, so few startups also working on collecting the feedback from that particular product or that particular service, and offering feedback-related data. They are making money out of this data sets, whatever they are gathering. And the amount of price what we are paying for the premium services what we are availing on Amazon or Netflix, every company wants their user to convert into what the premium services, and they offer trial versions. All of us know that 2 months trial version. Thereafter, they will be converted into what paid customer. So relating to product and service, there are some agencies where you can able to get some data. This is purely regarding satisfaction. Satisfaction. Why do we need to know about the satisfaction? So satisfaction related studies, they come under the category of qualitative data. And qualitative data, it is very, very difficult to extract. If it is quantitative data, yes, there are players in the market, there are resources which are in the market. It is also easy to get quantitative data, but very, very difficult to get qualitative data. So you are interested to know about the employee satisfaction, customer satisfaction, and student satisfaction. And I'm sure some of you are familiar with, there is a company by name Glassdoor. They talk about employee satisfaction, right? Whether the employee is satisfied with XYZ company. Because if you visit that website, they will be asking, series of questions. Are you paid well? Whether your working conditions are up to the mark? Whether they allow you to share your ideas, exchange of thoughts, exchange of ideas, or maybe they provide you the platform to learn, upskill yourself. So such kind of questions. This Glassdoor, again, it was a startup once upon a time. I mean to say 10 years back, but today it has become a very big company. And very often I advise my students, before applying to any company, to read reviews, and then you can apply for XYZ company. So what they are doing, they are collecting the data, right? So as an academician, we are also interested to know about employee satisfaction and customer satisfaction, but we use a traditional questionnaire method, survey method, and we visit various organizations and we interact with employers. We also interact with employees, and we come out with some kind of a questionnaire-based data. Then we carry our statistical analysis or data analysis. We present our results, and we will get our research degrees at the same time research publications. But companies are not. For them, this data is everything. So I was also talking about, I am interested to know about the working condition, because working condition today is very, very important. Maybe this working condition may not be a relevant question to a fresher, but working condition is a very relevant question, someone who is in middle aged. Why? Because he had already worked in that particular industry and he knows about ABCD organizations and their working conditions and their working cultures and the kind of resources which are available with those 4 to 5 different areas, and the way the leadership styles they operate, they work. And for that matter, asking this question is also a research problem. So knowing about the working condition before joining any entity, most of us, we also do research. Of course, we don't quantify them. Maybe we will ask basic questions regarding obviously working culture and resources which are available and leadership styles and etc. IT companies, they have become very popular during the time of pandemic. Why? Because they encouraged their employees to work from home. But today, the same industry is asking their employee to come back to office. Now, there is a tussle which has become company words, company and employee. So companies want each employee to come back to office, work for 9 hours, 5 days, and these people are habituated to work from home almost like 5 days and extend the number of hours also. So that time it was a great news for most of the employees. Why? Because they were happily working at home. But the same news has become reverse. So one can also take up this kind of a question, whether it is WFO versus WFH. Not only that, that also made a few employees to do this moonlighting, and there are few employees, they have become gig workers, freelancing. They were doing freelancing. They were working with multiple number of companies on different projects based on the flexible number of hours. And again, it's a kind of a research question. One can able to dwell into it and do some kind of analysis, and we can able to get some kind of an outcome. So these questions you don't get it in anywhere or in any secondary domain. Why? Because these questions are unique, and you have to go ahead, you have to define the research problem, and you have to define whether you talk about IT consists of 10,000 companies. You can't do 10,000 companies and do this kind of analysis. You need to narrow it down, maybe top 5 companies or top 10 companies or top 50 companies, or maybe you can also say the number of IT companies which are listed in Nifty 50 or Nifty 100. So a lot of research designing elements will come into that. Then you can define what is your sample and who are your respondents, from where you extract your questionnaire. So that's the reason I mentioned, once upon a time, people were talking about IT industry and the way it was facilitating their employees, the way they were offering incentives. But on contrary, because of various reasons, or maybe because of technological advancements, at the same time, increase in competition across the globe. I'm not only talking about Indian markets, but across the globe, you see people are cribbing about this particular industry. So that's the reason I mentioned once upon a time, but it is not the same today. The next thing about the learning environments, whether you are getting an opportunity to build your learnings, enhance your learnings, because for growth, learning is only the source. Second thing, whether that particular industry or that particular employer is allowing you to share your thoughts or exchange your thoughts, or some kind of discussion which are taking place on those thoughts, or are there any opportunities for collaboration? All these things certainly matter even for conducting the research. Today, I see that there are many researchers, they collaborate. Why do they collaborate? Because one person is good in modeling, another person is good in writing, another person is having the resources which are available. Maybe access to Scopus database, maybe access towards any other research related databases, and not only that, having access to Bloomberg, having access towards prime database, and that's how they are leveraging. And because of that, all the three institutions or four institutions, they are taking the advantage of collaborative research. So we should never think that of course I don't have that particular research access or database access. So maybe it is always approach the person who is having the research and the database access. Sometimes they try to collaborate, and sometimes they may say uh, yes or no. It purely depends upon the person. But today you see many institutions are coming together. They are doing collaborative research to overcome these data related issues, methodology related issues, and etc. Then the next thing about managing efficiencies, people are talking about today. People are talking about Q-commerce, right? Gone are the days people were talking about e-commerce, and the people today are talking about Q-commerce. What is this Q-commerce? Q-commerce is all about quick commerce. What is quick commerce? They are assuring the company is assuring you that in 2 hours they are going to deliver the product, and that way they are promising the speedy delivery, and at the same time by maintaining delivery standards. So it is a question relating to managing efficiencies. So there were good number of research papers, research studies, research reports on e-commerce in the last 5 to 10 years. I am sure again in the 2 to 3 years, people will talk about this quick commerce, or maybe much better version of that particular commerce in the coming future. I'm pretty much sure that people are going to focus on studies on quick commerce as well. The most important thing again, the managing value. So managing value is part of finance, and there it is very important to know the financial performance, whether financial performance of a company or financial performance of an economy, financial performance of a state, because there you see private finance comes in, public finance comes in, government finance comes in. So the level of data you have macro towards micro, right? At a country level, the data is available, and at a company level, the data is available. At state wise, the data is available. Even at individual level, we can able to get the data. Of course, individual level, it is very, very difficult from the secondary sources. But there are some agencies, they also work on extracting such kind of data. Managing cash flows is again a very important question from the point of whether how the companies are managing these cash flows to create value, and that is useful to perform valuation. And I also mentioned there is a company, there is a database, Bloomberg, which offers these cash flow services, valuation services. They provide the data on valuation as well as cash flows, which are very, very important for the researchers who do research in the domain of IPOs, who do research in the domain of mergers and acquisitions, and also what private equity and venture capital. For that purpose, for such kind of topics, accessing Bloomberg is a blessing. Why? Because you can able to get the data of those companies. I think YouTube has made many players or many investors. There are many influencers. They are converting uh, individuals today to trade, make investment in capital markets. And that is the reason you witness Sensex is touching 75,000 points. Maybe, the Nifty is also touched to 22,000 points. So stock markets is peak. And why it is peak? Because there are many new entrants who are entering into the stock markets. Now the question comes, how long it continues a peak? So that is a research question. Right. Second thing, whether stock market is reducing the volatility and enhancing the returns? That is again a valid question to ask, right? Or the next question can be, should I invest in stocks or should I invest in bonds? So uh, for such questions, you need not worry about the data. Why? Because stock market's data is available free of cost in the public domain. Go to NSE website and BSE website and also SEBI website. You can able to get whatever the data you wish. Most of the accounting researchers and finance researchers and economics researchers and researchers who do research in the domain of econometrics, they end up using stock markets data, bond markets data, mutual funds data, commodities data, investing in commodities data, and also investing in foreign exchange data, and etc. So it is purely, what is your research problem, and identify for that research problem what are the resources which are available. Some of them are absolutely free of cost. Some of them, they charge. I said Bloomberg is not free of cost. Bloomberg always comes. Uh, it's a chargeable one. But today, you see, these private universities are taking Bloomberg terminal. Why? Because to help their students to work on real-time projects. Maybe you're a faculty who are working with the private university. Use the terminal for your own growth. Maybe you extract the data relating to investment banking, relating to financial modeling, relating to risk management, relating to ESG. I am sure you can able to use that particular data which is not available in the public domain, which is available with you. You spend a little bit of time, extract the data, and start writing a paper, start writing a thesis, or start writing a project. So this is going to be the future, and today we are witnessing fintech in the domain of payments. But I am pretty much sure in the next 5 years, fintech is going to provide many more solutions. Not only payments, it also helps you to do exchange transactions, and there is also a lot of research potential which are available in the fintech domain. Digital money is already started, it is already happening from B2B, and also B2C is also taken place, but there are very few people, they are using Indian digital currency from B2C point of view, but B2B point of view, companies have started using, public sector banks, private sector banks are using digital currencies, digital money for trading and settlements. Online banking we are using, and fintech solutions in the domain of investments are the future. In the domain of wealth management is going to be the future. And crowdfunding, we already witnessed, and these youngsters these days, they are also trying to generate for their own ideas the resources in the form of crowdfunding. Blockchain, again, is the backbone for this fintech solutions. So blockchain applications in every segment is also a research question. So there are many research opportunities are available in this domain. But the question comes, who is producing the data, how you get the data, from where you get the data. Let's say you are fascinated about fintech and fintech research related research. Who will give the data, right? My first solution is you go to RBI website and just check what are the fintech norms, what are payment banks, what are the financial data bases which are available, right? Without reading that or without knowing that, don't jump into fintech related research. Don't ask any search engine fintech related data sets. No, you will never get. Why? Because you should know where to start. And I was also reading relating to fintech on RBI website. So go to RBI website and start extracting the data. And once you start extracting the data, you end up seeing the resources the way I was shown you in the few slides before. You are also going to come across similar way for resources. Then the next thing comes to managing technology resources. Why I'm specifically talking about managing technology resources? Because today, every company is investing time and money in creating AI solutions, right? At the same time, there are few academic programs also taken place in the domain of how to use AI for conducting academic research. And most of the companies already started using AI for customer research, marketing related research, and etc. So AI is going to be the future. So one should know which are those AI tools for research purpose, which are those AI tools for writing purpose. And if you get an opportunity for any kind of a workshop or FDP on artificial intelligence, maybe I suggest you to you have to attend. Why? Because you cannot skip, because that is the future. People are using chat gpt, researchers are also using chat gpt, and as a teacher I can say that I can run plagiarism software and etc. All those things are fine, but we should not prohibit chat gpt from the classroom. Maybe as an intellectual we should ask questions in a different manner, and encourage your students or encourage researchers to use this chat gpt to improvise their research problems, and also what collect data uniquely in a simplest manner, in a cost efficient manner. I'm pretty much sure that the chat gpt is going to address many issues in the domain of academic research. Blockchain technology also I mentioned, blockchain technology and its usage in the fintech industry. Digital currencies also I mentioned. So these are all new things, and I am pretty much sure in the next 3 to 4 years you end up seeing research papers on these areas in international journals from India. I'm pretty much sure. Why? Because uh, all these things are happening predominantly in our economy, and our academic researchers are also spending time on all these technologies, extracting the data, using the data, and they also want to leverage all these innovative ideas, new ideas, startup ideas, and take it forward and publish in academic research. So digital currencies also I spoke about it. Cryptocurrencies, of course, today we may ignore cryptocurrencies, and of course it is not legal, and tax rules are different regarding cryptocurrencies, but there are some investors, they are making constant investment in cryptos. Millennials are also investing some amount of money in cryptos, and we don't know whether it is good, bad, ugly, but you can able to take this problem and try to study. UPI is the greatest financial innovation from India across the globe, and every other country is willing to use this UPI, and they wish to know how and what basis this UPI is created, what is the background of technology, and how this UPI is helping financial inclusion. Why I'm using the word financial inclusion? Because of this UPI, the transactions are reaching from tier 1 to tier 4. Right. So you can take up some topic relating to UPI and financial inclusion. I'm sure you are going to get a very good paper on that. Fintech I already spoke about. On marketing space also, all these things which are taking place, digital marketing related products are coming up, and AI solutions in the domain of digital marketing is also taking place. And these are all innovative ideas, and where you end up doing some amount of research, and this research is going to be converted into publication in the future. But again, the question comes regarding digital currencies, go to RBI website. Regarding UPI, go to RBI website. So there are some resources which are available. You can able to extract the data. So I was talking about the importance of data, data matters, and etc. Now the question comes where it is available, when it is available, how it is available. So we'll spend some time on data availability, right? So you have identified a problem, and you try to search how to take this problem to the next level, and you are in a situation that you don't find any kind of a data. So that situation encourages you to get into primary data, and it will ask you to generate that particular data set, right? So what is primary data? In general, we come across primary data is the data which is not available at all, and you try to get that particular data by start generating it. How do we generate? Using questionnaires, using surveys, and focus group interviews. So there is no other alternative than these three. Of course, earlier it was very, very difficult to collect primary data. Thanks to technology, there are many products, there are many companies, they are helping you to prepare quick questionnaires, quick surveys, and conduct even focus group interviews, not only in physical mode, even in virtual mode. So try to identify which are those tools and how quick you can convert that questionnaire data into quantitative data, survey data also into quantitative data, and how to analyze focus group interviews data. There are some tools, I'm pretty much sure. So you can able to use. So there is no alternative to primary data. Here I would like to highlight a few institutions. Why I'm talking about this? I'm talking about data, I'm talking about research. And today, all big institutions across the globe, they have made their offices in India. Harvard Research Center is there in Mumbai. Stanford Research Center is there. MIT Research Center is there in India. Michigan Research Center is also there in India. Why do you think all these big stalwart institutions have come to India? Because they know that future research is going to be from India, and that is the reason they are establishing their own research offices, and they have their teams, and the team's duty is to collect the data, whether it is in the primary mode, whether it is in the secondary mode. So whether you name case studies, whether you name review papers, whether you name monographs, whether you name videos, whether you name any kind of reports, they are available. Indian institutions are not having such kind of a data, but these are the institutions. They know much better what is happening in India. The reason is because their officers are very well trained and they know how to extract the data across the country. And that is the reason, their reach is increasingly becoming more from the research point of view, from the case studies point of view, from the teaching material point of view towards Indian academia. So that talks about the data and importance of data, and especially from our country. Secondary data, I mentioned already, secondary data, the data is available in the market. But the question comes, when the data is available, it is easy to download the data and clean the data and classify the data, and you can analyze. But it is very, very difficult to convert secondary data into publication, because there are subjective related questions. And the next question comes, who is providing that kind of a data set, whether it is authenticated or not. So it is difficult to publish secondary data. But at the same time, there are many statisticians, many economists, and capital market finance researchers. They use a lot of secondary data, which is again authenticated data and from authenticated resources. So secondary data is available across disciplines, whether you want agriculture, you want sciences, you want pharma, you want automotive, just go to that particular ministry website. Why I'm talking about ministry website? In general, people will say data means go to CMIE or go to Capital Line or go to AC Equity and etc. My thing is, I am observing. Very recently I gave few talks, and for that few talks, I was needing some kind of information, and that information was not available in the public domain. But I visited each and every ministry website, and I was trying to extract the data. It is available. So please do visit Ministry of websites relating to your research specified problem. If you are doing research in agriculture, visit Ministry of Agriculture related. And if you are doing research in education, again, you visit Ministry of Education. So similarly, automotive agencies related issues, you visit. So all ministry websites are providing you the data, which is again free of cost. Markets I spoke about, NSE, BSE, MCX, Multi-Commodity Exchange, SEBI, Bloomberg, Prime database is again a very unique and very well. I mean to say they gather the data in a very systematic manner, very authenticated manner, and they give you the data in a very well professional manner. And it is again a subsidiary unit of NSE. So those researchers who are doing research in the domain of finance, I'm sure a pretty Prime database is going to be very useful. I'm sure people are working on corporate governance, corporate social responsibility, and dividend decisions, capital structure related decisions, IPO related decisions, mergers and acquisition related decisions. For all that, you can blindly go to Prime database and start downloading. Of course, they charge. It's not completely free. They charge. My sincere suggestion is identify whichever the institution who is having the Prime database access, and you try to again leverage with that particular institute or with that particular faculty member, maybe a collaborative research project or maybe collaborative research publication. Because we are in a world of, to say in a management jargon, we are in a world of win-win situation. It's not like a win-lose situation. It is a win-win situation. So you leverage the data. Ace Equity also provides another private database company. Most of the agencies like Motilal Oswal or Money Control or Sharekhan, such kind of private players, they use Ace Equity, Prime Database, Capital Line. Academicians, we use CMIE progress related data. CMIE progress related data is one of the oldest database which is available, and traditionally research and data means it was only CMIE progress, but today you go to NSE website, tick by tick data is also available. Of course, you need to pay some amount of money for getting tick by tick data. Daily price data is available free of cost, but tick by tick data, it comes with the price tag. Similarly, BSE also provides the data relating to annual report, relating to stock prices, relating to dividends. And again, if the time duration is huge, where we need to make some kind of a payment to get that particular data. Suppose, sir, I'm not falling into any of this topic. Let's say I'm not from marketing, I'm not from finance, altogether I'm not from management, let's say. But you belong to something, right? You belong to maybe engineering side, you belong to maybe the sciences side, you belong to some XYZ area. In that case, my sincere suggestion is go to any business newspaper and start reading the business newspaper. They give you the data with source. If they publish any data, they will give you at the bottom the source. And very often you come across some lengthy articles in Mint, even in business line. They give graphs, they give charts, right? Without data, it is not possible. But they always give the source. So easiest way to figure out what is your data source is start reading those newspapers, and every table or every graph you have a resource. Sorry, and that particular resource, I ask you to visit that particular resource and try to explore it. If you find anything interesting, you can able to get the data. I was doing my own research on share buyback or on share repurchases. I was not knowing from where to get this data, because if you go to BSE website, you have price data, but number of announcements, it was very difficult to get. I was also checking with CMI progress, but I was reading Mint newspaper regarding buyback announcements and etc. There was a wonderful table. Below that wonderful table, I figured out Prime database. So then I visited Prime database. I got the complete data from Prime database. Then my job has become very easy. So my ultimate recommendation is do spend time on media agencies and the resources what they mentioned, because they have their own exclusive research teams. They have research team for automotive sector, they have their research team for technology sector, they have research team for their financial sector, You name any sector, they have their own research team. So on behalf of you, they are working, and they are trying to provide the data with resources. So spend time to extract the data. I'm sure that is again an innovative way of getting the data. So that is important. Then these are the other agencies where you can also able to get the data. Let's say you are willing to work some topics like this. Today I was reading some articles saying that today companies wanted to become private. Companies wanted to become private, right? Why do you think companies wanted to become private? Right. 5 years back, it was other way around. Private companies wanted to become public. Right. You try to understand two questions. One is private company is willing to become public, and today public company is willing to become private. Another, startup companies wanted to go for IPOs few years back. Now today, startup companies, they don't want to go to IPOs. Right. So these are very, very important research topics. But the question is, how do you get the data? So visit Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and there you end up getting data relating to private companies, public companies, startup companies. So you will be getting some information from that particular source, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. ASSOCHAM is again, that is one industry agency, Chamber of Commerce related Indian agency. And ASSOCHAM also produces various research reports across different industries. So these things will help you to prepare a few chapters of your thesis, a few data sets, as part of your thesis. So ASSOCHAM is one, NASSCAM is also another one. NASSCAM is well known for software companies and software companies association. They do a lot of meetings, they do a lot of events, and all those things are available on those websites. Usually free of cost. I never come across, NASCAM is asking XYZ amount. FICCI is again Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce. They also provide a lot of industry-related research data. TIE is relating to startup ecosystem, and there are startup experts. They exchange their thoughts and their views, and you try to get the data in the form of insights, in the form of in the form of reports. So visit Thai website as well. Of course, they ask for members, non-members, and some amount is there you need to pay to become member for such agencies. Then the next thing, every industry you have a regulator. Like for capital markets, SEBI is a regulator. For banks, RBI is a regulator, and for insurance companies, IRDA is a regulator. So if you're doing your research in banking, you go to regulators web page and try to get data relating to banking. Same case with insurance. Same case with that particular industry body where you are working in. So just check which are those agencies which are associated with that XYZ industry, and try to get the data from those resources. I mentioned few companies. Of course, these are all paid resources, but they have become very popular in the startup ecosystem. Crunchbase is one, AngelList is one, PitchBook is one, CB Insights is one. Uh, it is very difficult to subscribe to their data, but you can subscribe their newsletters. Why I'm talking about their newsletters? Because newsletters, they highlight on contemporary research questions, on contemporary research problems. At the same time, they also present upcoming solutions for next 1 year, next 2 years. What are the challenges these startups are going to face? Which are those technologies which are going to transform these XYZ businesses? So you can subscribe those newsletters, and those newsletters also will try to help you to define your problem and expand your problem. At the same time, it will give you many more views and thoughts to carry your research far. So I was talking about this data resource point of view. Prime database I was talking about. So you can see what data it is providing. It is helping you to get the data on public issues. So if you are working on IPOs, FPOs, offer for sale, use these three keywords. IPOs in India 2024, IPOs in India 2023, IPOs in India 2022. I am pretty much sure that people are working in this domain. They are publishing in Scopus Index journals. They are publishing in ABDC list of journals. I'm pretty much sure there were some good number of case studies in the domain of IPOs, and this is the resource. Same case with public debt issues, rights issues, right? That is also happening very popularly in the last 2 years. I'm observing that many companies are coming for rights issues. Why the company comes for rights issue? Is it because of market timing, or is it because of any other issues? So you can explore on whether rights issues, when, what, how, and the data is available on this particular source. Debt private placements. So this is again because since markets are slow down and many startups are taking venture debts to survive their entities. So venture debt related topics also very interesting to study. So like that, you can see that the data is available on commercial paper, certificate of deposit, QIPs, institutional placement programs, InVITs. This is also happening. I think other day my colleague was talking about, sir, there is a scope to do research in the domain of InVITs and REITs. This is relating to infrastructure, real estate related instruments where government is encouraging to invest in such kind of paper-based real estate products like sovereign gold bonds, like mutual funds, and government also wanted us to invest in InVITs as well as REITs. So again, that is a futuristic topic relating to that. The data is available. So preferential equity, preference shares, so buyback of offer. That's what so I was going through this website. The moment I saw buyback offers, I wrote to them. They said, yes, the data is available. And they were asking me for what duration. So I was asking them, can you give me the data from inception? And inception means 1998. 1998, India allowed companies to buy back their shares. So my study started from 1998 data until 2016. So they have provided me the data. So of course, you have to spend some time as well as money to get such kind of the data. That helped us to make a blueprint for my research work. Similarly, you will be getting some insights once you start exploring on this thing. So this is a free resource, but the problem with free resources is very, very difficult to publish. Today, it is very difficult. If you are using open resource, if you are extracting data with free resource, it is very, very difficult to publish. But few years back, top-notch journals, Journal of Finance, just you type, Yahoo and Journal of Finance, you end up seeing many things. Why? Because that time internet was new. There were not many players. And through this internet only, the data was getting generated. So Yahoo Finance was very well known in the beginning of the finance transformation. So just check Yahoo Finance plus finance research. I'm pretty much sure all the top tier journals in finance, they have accepted this particular resource. But today it is not the case. But you can use this resource for case study publications, maybe, for teaching pedagogy purpose, or maybe, developing some kind of a content, maybe developing some kind of a simulation, or maybe, you're coming out with new innovative financial model. For that purpose also, you need a data. So data is not only for research, data is for many other purposes, right? So you can use this particular resource. And how do we use? So I was using this data to know about Apple, how Apple is doing, and how Apple is generating revenues, and how Apple is creating stock returns to shareholders. So I went to Yahoo Finance. Here I mentioned AAPL. AAPL stands for Apple Incorporation. And after Apple Incorporation, I got this information about the stock price, and the stock price that time was negative. You can see it is not only the stock price. See, in general, we look at stock price, but you can see what information is providing. It's a free. Charts are available, conversations are available, statistics is available, historical data is available, portfolio also available, financials available, analysis available. So all these things, sustainability related practices by Apple, that data is also available. Right. So you can explore in detail. You can able to generate uh, good amount of data, and you can use that. And I was searching for only 1 day. You can do 5 days. You can do 1 month. You can do 6 months. You can do year to date. You can 1 year. You can also do maximum price. Many. So this was the historical data I was searching. Historical prices for a week time. I mentioned about the daily frequency, quarterly frequency, half-yearly frequency, monthly frequency. Right. We can able to get this view. Free of cost, secondary data, maybe useful. Similar thing you can explore on NSE, website. I went into company. I mentioned about INFI, Infosys Limited. So if you type Infosys Limited, INFI, it will ask you Infosys Limited in equity. Just click on that. Go to market data. You can able to see Infosys stock price, open, close, whatever the price details. At the same time, it also gives you corporate disclosures and the pre-open market, intraday chart, historical data. At the same time, the glossaries which are available. So Infosys also trades, I think, in derivatives. So if you are interested in derivative data, you can. So this was the historical data again. I collected for 1 month. I did this for classroom exercise purpose. I was teaching our students computer applications in finance. I gave them some exercises on estimating the betas, performing valuation with hands-on, using the real-time data set, using different companies, using different industries. For that purpose also data is there. Right, so these are the few resources relating to our research papers. Some research papers are not accessible. Why the research papers are not accessible? Again, you see a lot of databases are available, and all those databases, they want your institutions to take the membership, or they also want you as an individual to take the membership by paying some subscription amount. But if you are not able to get that particular paper in that particular domain, or you cannot afford that particular paper, you may use these resources. These resources are shared by one of the fintech researcher who was working with Big Four company. So you may note down these resources and keep it. Do not keep it in the public domain. Keep it for your own research purpose. Elicit.com is one. Connectedpapers.com is one. Sci-Hub, I think some of you are aware. Of course, now it is not giving you the latest data. It is giving you up to 2020. Thereafter, Sci-Hub is not giving uh, any research publication after 2020 in India because copyright violation issues. 12ft.io. So you can check. If you are interested to read the free ebooks, that is also given litgen.is. So just explore these resources, these websites, and to get more data and data related access. Oh, there are few things. It's not necessary that every article should have a data. No, there are some articles without data you can able to publish. Like you can able to publish opinion articles. Like I do a lot of opinion articles, and some opinion articles requires data. Some opinion articles do not require data. There are few publications they encourage publish opinion articles, and they give uh, word limit of 2,000 to 3,000 words in some cases. Commentaries, EPW is known for commentaries, and it accepts commentaries. Again, the number of word limit is going to be 4,000 to 6,000 words. So you end up just reading like a story. There you don't see any graph, You don't see any kind of a picture. You don't see any kind of hypothesis or nothing, because they are writing their thoughts. They are converting their thoughts into commentaries. And if you read that commentary will give you a research problem. And again, the story of research continues. So perspective pieces also allowed to even Vikalpa also allows for perspective papers. Vision also allows for perspective papers. FIIB, it is listed in Scopus, that also allows perspective papers, commentaries, opinion articles. So not necessary that research is only through data. Without that, also you can write opinions, you can write commentaries, you can also write perspectives. So that's the reason I thought of sharing. Here I was talking about, you can see, they also accept book review. Book review requires only 800 to 1200 words. So just identify latest popular book which has created some kind of impact, and you feel that impact to be shared among the readers. You convert that impact into a book review and submit to this journal, they will publish. Perspective articles also you can see 1000 to 3000 words, opinion based. I contribute a lot of opinion based, of course, not in the journals. I contribute a lot in the daily newspapers. I never attempted perspective articles in journals. I published research papers in the journals, but perspective articles, business papers, business papers. Review of articles are also available. So why I'm talking about this, without data also you can able to publish. Like cases. Data is also required in the case of cases. Some cases it is mandatory to have data. So these are the again EPW. They are mentioning what exactly you can write, what is the word limit. That's it. Sage. There are few Sage journals. They also again allow you to write perspectives, research papers, case-based research, literature review. Today, literature review has become completely quantitative. People are talking about bibliometrics, systematic literature, meta-analysis, and they are using different research methods to do literature review. Earlier, literature review means it's purely qualitative. Maybe you talk about in 3 to 4 lines what was the author's contribution in his problem. But today, literature review is based on the topic, based on the subject, based on the problem statement, using technology, using graphs, using charts. And many researchers in India today, I think they are taking the advantage of literature review publications, and they are publishing SLR-based literature review, meta-analysis based literature review, bibliometric analysis based literature review, and they're getting ABDC publications, Scopus publications, and so any questions? Any questions?
So there are no questions as of now, sir. Probably they'll be asking at the end of the session.
Okay. So in case if they have any questions, let them ask, madam. I'm done. The content part, I'm done. With my presentation. So in case if they have any specific questions, I'm here to address those questions.
Dear participants, if at all you have any questions, you can drop the question in the chat box. There are no questions as of now, sir.
Okay, madam. No problem. So even in case if they wish to approach me, my details are available on ipindia.website. You can make me a call, no problem. You can also write to me. I'm available on LinkedIn. You can exchange any of your thoughts, research ideas, and yeah, we can able to collaborate and take the research to the next level. So if there are no questions, yeah, please tell me.
Participants, if at all you have any questions, you can drop the question in the chat box.
So I showed you some resources. You can explore those resources. Yes, why data matters. I'm telling you very important resource, where each researcher can follow this important discussion. What I'm going to speak in next 5 minutes. See, there is one person by name Dr. Prasanna Tantri. I'm sure some of you heard about it. Please note down his name, Dr. Prasanna Tantri, and he comes from Karnataka, and he works at ISB, Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. And he has identified a unique research problem. The unique research problem is Ayushman Bharat. I think all of you know about Ayushman Bharat, right? How Ayushman Bharat is helping below poverty line people, BPL, and how it is making them save. How it is making them save uh, on an average per annum rupees 35,000. On an average per annum rupees 35,000. So, how he has approached to the research problem? There are videos which are available on YouTube. What are the resources he used to solve that particular problem? Again, there are few episodes which are available on YouTube. So, you take time and listen to his 3 to 4 episodes. You understand what kind of research is taking place in India. And you don't believe that published in Management Science. Management Science is the top-notch journal in the discipline of management. Purely based on government policy, using government-related data sets, and he cracked that Management Science paper. And yes, if you listen to him, you will, the way research does, right? It is completely in a different manner, in a transformative manner. And the way he has approached the problem and how he handled and how he collected the data and etc. is clearly defined in that particular video. So my recommendation is please spare some time and listen to his 2 to 3 episodes on that particular issue. And today the paper is there in Management Science. That's what I was telling you. Few years back, it is very, very difficult to publish in top 5 journals. But today people are publishing, working in India, using Indian data sets, and they are making high impact research across the globe. So with this, I'll say thank you for allowing me to deliver this lecture. And feel free to approach any participant for any questions or any collaborations or any guidance. Right, it's part of learning. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one question. Today, it's a day beyond numbers. So how do you substantiate this, and what are the challenges we face today when it comes to data collection, sir?
Can you repeat the question, madam, please?
Yeah, today is the day that is beyond the numbers. Most of them are moved towards a qualitative data, qualitative analysis. So
Right.
how do you substantiate the data? It becomes very important today.
Right. No, you are right. Especially qualitative data. If you see, as I was talking about, employee satisfaction or customer satisfaction, essentially, it's a qualitative attributes, and you are taking some assumption to convert that qualitative attribute into number, and you are using that number for interpreting, right? End of the day, we are converting those qualitative attributes into numbers using some assumptions and etc. So there are good number of tools which are available. I was attending one of the FTP very recently by one of the Central University professor. He was telling, there are tools, there are tools to identify whether the data is cooked up data. Right. I'll give an example. There are some researchers, they are using one standard set of database, and they are using the same data, and they are making some changes. They are making some kind of alterations, and they are submitting to publishers. Earlier, it was easy to do that. Now, one data set, we are making some kind of tweaks here and there, we have submitted. But gone are those days. Why? Because there are a good number of tools which are available, whether that particular data is genuinely collected. And there are few companies, they came out with such kind of products. I jot down those resources, but I'm sorry, I can't present right now. So that is the thing. I hope
Participants, anybody
I
else?
got an answer.
Anybody else has a question to ask to sir? So there are no questions. Yeah, thank you for a very
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please go.
Thank you for a very insightful session regarding the issues with access, availability, and quality. And a lot of focal point, what I could find in the session is all about academics, the research in academics, as well as the traditional that is still in practice. But nevertheless, the contemporary way of collecting the data has become very important. And technology in education academics has become very important today. And your session was very innovative, interactive, as well as it was thought-provoking about how to get the data all about and how we can integrate regarding collaborations. Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful session.
Thank you, madam. It was actually a short notice. I told you other day. And it was a hectic day for me also today.
Okay.
I was working on something. Finally,
thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for taking your time off from your busy schedule.
Yeah,
just a few information regarding the symposium, regarding to all the participants. That is, the symposium is going to be having a different format altogether. We do have a focal point session. We do have interactive sessions, Ignite sessions. And also we have an opportunity for all the researchers, whether they've just started the research, or it could be ongoing research, or it could be even the completed research. If at all you would like to have a one-on-one session with the research experts, you have an opportunity during this research symposium, but you'll have to write us in advance to know whether, if at all you would like to have a one-on-one session with the resource persons. And if at all you have any requirement, you can mail it to me at bhagya@cessedu.org. I'll post in the group now. And please do write a mail that you require, because we need to know your domain before we assign the experts for your one-on-one session. And at the outset, I would like to thank everybody for attending this session. Thank you very much, Chandra Shekar sir, for taking your time off and being a part of the session and sharing all your insights regarding the topic that was given to you, very well articulated. Thank you very much, sir. At the outset, I would also like to thank our director, Dr. Gaurish sir, for his presence and support all through the session. And I would also like to thank Dr. Mulidhar sir for being a part of this symposium and a part of CES altogether. I also would like to thank Dr. Bhargavi ma'am, the director of PG Department of Commerce and Management from Shisharipuram College. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your presence. And we are collaborating with Shisharipuram College for this particular symposium. Thank you all. Thank you very much. And tomorrow we'll have session on at the same time at 6:30. The link will be posted to you. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.